ready, always there.
We're happy to do it, and it's exciting to get those calls to go out and help the community do the thing that we're here to do.
The National Guard comes to the rescue of a stranded hunter, all part of the job. Plus a big win for recycling.
I think any first step is a great step for especially a community that doesn't have a lot of resources for recycling.
A new state-of-the-art center will help Billings plastics become plastics again. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Russ Riesinger. The Montana Army National Guard's Limited Aviation Support Facility here in Billings recently set out on its first real-life rescue. In late November, they were called into action to rescue a hunter stranded on the Yellowstone River. Our Kelsey Boggs talked to some of the rescuers about that aspect of their job.
These helicopters are now a common sight here in Billings. The Montana Army National Guard Limited Aviation Support Facility has been in operation for almost a year now, but what happened in November was a first, and one of the reasons this facility is here.
The first thing that goes through my mind is, what do we got going on tonight?
Called into action.
When it comes at 7 o'clock at night, it means we're probably going to be flying a helicopter somewhere. It's kind of, okay, let's answer this and see what we got going on.
Ready to risk it all to save a life.
We're happy to do it. It's exciting to get those calls to go out and help the community do the thing that we're here to do.
On November 21st, around 7 p.m., Major Dustin Horswell, the commander of the Limited Aviation Support Facility for the Montana Army National Guard in Billings, received a call from Sheriff Linder of the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office.
They had a hunter that was going down on a boat on the Yellowstone River, and so there's an island at the confluence of the Bighorn River and the Yellowstone River. And so he was stranded on the island.
In comes Zach Lundgren, the pilot of the mission.
I got a phone call at about 7 o'clock from Major Horswell. Just finished dinner with my wife and kids. Answered the call, told my wife, hey, we have to go out. We just got called for a rescue.
In conjunction with the Sheriff's Office and the Warden Volunteer Fire Department, the hunter was saved and was in good spirits after being rescued.
And he asked if we could help him get his boat unstuck. But obviously, unfortunately, that's not what we were there to do.
But they are in our community to make a difference, especially Lundgren, who just moved to Montana in August.
That was a big part of the decision to come out here, was to be in an organization and a team that we are actively involved in helping the local community. So definitely a good feeling, rewarding.
Trained and ready for a job they're happy to do.
Could happen to anybody. We're here to help them and potentially the worst day of their lives.
One of the main reasons that we're here to be in Billings and this side of the state is to work with those law enforcement agencies. I think that we will start to get a lot more calls because now they realize that we're here in the area and able to help.
In Billings, Kelsey Boggs, MTN News.
Good Friday evening, everyone. Taking a live look outside from our Stockman Bank camera. You can see the airport right now, fairly tranquil, not very active weather-wise around the Billings area, but we had a seasonable day for the most part, slightly warmer than average both this morning and this afternoon. Started the day at 24 and had a cool high of 41 degrees. A trace amount of snow, a few flakes were falling here and there, but not much precipitation here, and we still don't have a lot of snow-bearing clouds in the vicinity. A partly to mostly cloudy sky right now, 36 degrees. It's going to take a while for those temperatures to cool down. Thankfully, with that cool temperature, it's not too windy. Only 9 miles an hour to the north, so that's putting the wind chill at 29 degrees, but we have a lot more wind coming for a large part of the area. Your forecast coming up.
Some good news for travelers heading to Denver. Soon there will be 2 more daily flights to choose from. United Airlines is adding those 2 daily direct flights between Billings and Denver. The expanded service will be in place by Memorial Day weekend next year. It means there will be 5 Denver flights per day out of the Magic City. It's the latest addition to the airport's flight roster on the heels of announcements for summer seasonal direct flights to Minneapolis and Los Angeles. According to the DEQ, Montanans currently recycle about 19% of the waste that we produce. It's one of the lowest numbers in the country. But help may be on the way for Billings with the opening of a first-of-its-kind facility this week. Our Isabel Spartz explains.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle are words we've been hearing our whole lives. But how often are Billings plastics like this one getting a second life? The answer right now? Not very, maybe once if done correctly. But a new center could change that, turning this bottle into another one, over and over again. Recycling may not always be on the minds of Billings residents.
I think for some people, they see recycling as added work.
But that work for some, like Clark Martin photography owner Rudy Martin, is worth it.
As we continue on in life, whatever we can do to help in any way and to reuse what we can, or to even keep things out of our landfill, I think is a responsibility that we should all have.
Martin recycles all types of materials at his downtown Billings business, everything from cardboard to cans to plastic bottles. Currently, plastic recyclable materials can go to places that will end up using them once, most often to make carpets or construction materials.
Unfortunately, the capture rates of plastic packaging are too low in the U.S. The most common plastic packaging, a PET water bottle and an H&P milk jug, are only captured about 30% of the time. And a lot of the time, that material that is captured gets downcycled into a market that makes it very difficult to capture it again.
But now, a potential game changer. A new $70 million polymer center has opened in Las Vegas, a first-of-its-kind facility that can recycle materials 6 to 7 times.
What Polymer Center will do is it will produce high-grade outputs, high-yielding outputs, enable greater circularity of material. So think plastic water bottle being converted back into another water bottle.
The center works by taking already recycled materials and breaking them down to be reused in their original form. Even though the center is 1,000 miles away in Las Vegas, Republic Services says all of its facilities in surrounding states, including Montana, will send their plastic to the center starting sometime next year. A move Martin says is a good first step.
I think the more you can educate the public, the better and more receptive it'll be. And the more people know that it's available, the more they'll recycle. So if we're only starting with plastic, let's start there.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
New government data out today shows the labor market adding jobs and the unemployment rate inching downward. Analysts say those signs point to the elusive soft landing that the U.S. economy needs in order to avoid a recession. The latest report from the Labor Department shows employers added 199,000 jobs in November, and unemployment fell for the first time in 3 months to 3.7%. Well, healthcare and government sectors added jobs. November's gains also reflect the return of 47,000 striking workers in the automotive and motion picture industries. Lewistown city leaders are celebrating a new project that is set to bring in tens of millions of dollars in investment and hundreds of new jobs. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more.
It was a full house Friday morning at the Yogo Inn here in Lewistown for the official announcement of a new investment that leaders say is going to be a big deal for this community.
So let me be the first one to say, welcome to Montana. We're very happy to have you.
Wacom, a manufacturing company from Germany, says it's going to build its new American headquarters in Lewistown, where they'll produce specialized components used in a variety of high-tech industries. CEO Jens Bergner says they plan to invest $35 million in their first phase, with another $50 million planned after that. Over the coming years, they'll eventually increase to 500 employees.
The biggest issue for that one is we need time to educate the people in our knowledge, especially in the vacuum technology and the cleaning.
Gianforte met with Bergner directly as Wacom was looking across the U.S. for potential locations. He says the administration's efforts to make Montana more business-friendly are paying off.
This is going to create higher wage jobs that allow Montanans to prosper right here in Fergus County.
Wacom's campus won't only include manufacturing space. They'll also set up a training center for their employees, as well as a daycare and learning center for employees' children.
I really believe in if there's a problem, you can solve it with education. So education is the key for everything.
State Senator Dan Bartel, one of the local leaders who encouraged Wacom to choose Lewistown, says they're going to be ready for the growth that comes along with this new opportunity. He says leaders have been talking to investors about affordable housing development, working with the state on transportation infrastructure, and planning for where expansion can occur.
It's a huge impact, but we're going to manage it well.
Bergner says Vacom is going to need about a year of planning time to get ready for this project. They hope to begin construction on the facility in 2025 and have it ready for production in 2026. In Lewistown, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Ahead on the MTN News at 5:30 here on Q2, the Montana Grizzlies getting ready to take the field as they host Furman in a nationally televised playoff game tonight on ESPN. We'll head to Missoula next for a preview. And later, we go to Wyoming, where there's been a huge explosion in the population of snowmen. After destroying Delaware in the second round of the FCS football playoffs, the Montana Grizzlies hope to take another step toward a national title tonight, but they should meet a much tougher foe as the Furman Paladins make the trip to Missoula. MTN's Kyle Hansen is there to set the scene.
Hey everyone, Kyle Hansen here, and the countdown is on as the Montana Grizzlies get set to take on the Furman Paladins here at Washington Grizzlies Stadium in the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs. And when these two programs tend to meet, it's with high stakes and everything on the line like they did in the 2001 National Championship. And that's no different this time around, as implications of this playoff matchup are huge. The second-ranked Grizzlies are 11-1 this season and hosting a quarterfinal game for the first time since 2011. And with a win tonight, will advance to the semifinal round for the first time since that season as well. Furman, meanwhile, is 10-2 this year and is in the quarterfinals for the first time since 2005, which was also the last time the Paladins made the semifinal round, and a streak that could end tonight should they beat the Grizzlies. These two programs have been a lot alike this year. Both are champions in their respective conferences, boast some of the best defenses in the FCS, and have playmakers and steady play on offense that will both be tested as they line up against the strengths of these two programs. We couldn't be more excited to get this game underway, as it's win or go home for everyone this time of the year, with only 8 teams left in the postseason field. And the winner of this game will take on either North Dakota State or South Dakota in the semifinals next week. Kickoff from Washington Grizzlies Stadium is set for 7 p.m. and we'll have all of your coverage over at montanasports.com and throughout the rest of the weekend as the Grizzlies and Paladins settle it on the field later this evening. Reporting in Missoula, Kyle Hansen, MTN Sports.
F you 3 times. F you all the time. F you all the time.
The FU fans, that is the Furman University fans from Greenville, South Carolina, traveled to Montana in a group of about 200.
I remember when the brackets first came out and we saw that, like, if we won the second game, we'd get to go to Montana, and I was so excited.
And they woke up to a different kind of game day weather than they're used to.
It's a little chilly, I'm not going to lie.
We don't normally get to see snow in South Carolina, at least where I'm from, so this is really exciting.
I don't think I've ever even cheered in snow before either. Being from the South, it's not.
But they've brought with them the warmth of the Paladin fan base.
I tell you what, it's just like family. It really is. It really is.
We have a really hardcore, dedicated, small group of fans. I mean, Furman's not a large school, so we don't have, the huge extended fan base.
They even bought the hotel staff Furman University shirts.
Wait, you gotta get the purple bow. Oh yeah, she's got a bow.
And despite the rivalry of the game,
I'm excited. I like the animosity. I think it's fun.
They seem grateful to be in Montana.
I think the mountains are beautiful. I've never been on a trip this big before, so it's really cool to get to do it with the school and to support our team.
Obviously, not near as many of us as the Grizzly fans, but, we're here to support our boys and cheer on the team, so look forward to it.
In Missoula, Claire Peterson, MTN News.
Well, the weekend is officially here, and how's that weather looking?
Well, it's going to be a little bit quieter for a time, but we also have more windy weather coming our way. It was kind of a winter-like day for our eastern counties this afternoon, but things are going to quiet down there as well after a 7-day forecast after this.